मस्त मागशी बी पिकळे मामाले उलयतना तांगिले आजी तांणी एक ह्या लेवला पावच्याक तांगिले आशिल्ले संस्कार हांव अरुण मामा बद्दल केन्ना उलयतना गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरु विष्णू म्हणचे तांणी की ते एक तांगिले आशिल्ले कल्चर आजी तांकां एक व्हड लेवलाक पावयल्या म्हणच्याक बारीक खुशी येता. अशी हांगेल बद्दल हांव सांगता गेलो म्हणून तुज्या हारी मस्त आसा. आनी GS कामतिलेगी CA आर्टिकलशिप जायना पडे क्वालिफाइड CA जायना पडे आजी जो गोवांतू हांगेले फर्मांतू 14 चार्टर्ड अकाउंटंट काम करता आसच. तशीची 46 लोक चेडवां आर्टिकलशिप करता आसची. आज पर्यंत 84 चेडवांले CA कंप्लीट जाले. लेटेस्ट लास्ट एग्जामांत 1 hour चेक चल्लो क्वालिफाय जाले की. तशें आमगेले गांवचे एक चेडू नागेश प्रभू बी तांगेले की CA करच्याक जॉइन जाला गेल्या म्हयन्यान तुकून. की हांव सांगच्या कारण आनी एक CA जावन शेव करता आसच. प्रत्येक लागता जी CA जावन प्रोफेशन करताची दूड करताची म्हूण जाल्यार आतां आमगेले अपूर्वान सांगिल्ले वरी इट इज ए फॅशनेट प्रोफेशन फॉर हिम. तशी सांगतास म्हूण ताच्या हारी आनी सोसायटी एकटा भितरी एक्सपर्ट आसच. सोसायटी एकटा भितरी एक्सपर्ट तुकून हांकां गोवा गव्हर्मेंटान कोऑपरेटीव एक्ट एंड रुल्स ड्राफ्ट फ्रेम करच्याक हांकां डायरेक्टर जावन नॉमिनेट केले. आनी लास्ट 30 वर्स चुकून आनी गोवा स्टेट कोऑपरेटीव हावसिंग फायनान्स एंड फेडरेशनाचे चेअरमॅन जावन काम करता आसच. तशीची आनी नॅशनल हावसिंग फायनान्स हाजे डायरेक्टर जावन बी आसाची. आनी गोवा गव्हर्नरान हांकां गोवा युनिवर्सिटीचे सेनेट मेंबर जावन बी नॉमिनेट केले. तशीची आनी कॅनरा कॉलेज सोसायटी आमी म्हणटा एवी बाळिगा कॉलेज हाजे चेअरमॅन जावन बी लास्ट 2 वर्स करून काम करता आसच. तशीची अनेक विशय सांगचे म्हळ्यार आमी गांवां पयलें तर आमगेल्या गांवांक आमगेलें कशी रिलेशन आहा म्हूण आमगेल्या गांवचे म्हालगडे ना मारुती कोऑपरेटीव सोसायटी म्हणून एक सेट केले. गोतस तुमकां कोऑपरेटीव सोसायटीक एक लास्ट 4 वर्स चुकून एक इनकम टॅक्साचे प्रॉब्लेम आयले की लास्ट एक आमकां एक व्हड कंटक आयले म्हणून सांगिता. कित्याक मागीर आज आमी हांगा बशिल्ले 90% पुरो मारुती कोऑपरेटीव शेअर होल्डर आसच. तेजे आमकां मॅक्झिमम डिविडंड मेळच्याक रघु पिकळे माम कारण कित्याक मारी आनी 2 पंत गोवा ट्रिब्युनलांत अपील करून आमकां जय काडून दिले म्हणून सांगताक अशी आमगे सांगत एक बांधवी बी तांगेली आसा. तशीची आमगेले नागेक्षे रामदासणाक बी एक बॅकबोन पिल्लर म्हणून सांगीत. कित्याक की म्हळ्यार आज आमगेले इतलो व्हड एक सभाभवना भितरी तांगेले एक दूरदर्शित्व आनी तांगेले एक अकाउंटा बद्दल तांणी दिल्ले सलहे सुचने आमकां घालिल्ले फ्रेमवर्क अशी. एनिवे हांव तुमकां ऑलरेडी सांगलें मस्त आमगेलो टायम जालो ऑलरेडी. अशें हांगेले बद्दल सांगता गेल्यार टायम म्हाका नुपूर जाता. आमी दिल्लेले एक इन्विटेशनाक रामदासणान दवरले एक विनंतीक तांगेले बिजी शेड्युला भितरी तांणी आज हांगा येवन आमगेले समाजा बद्दल आनी आमी मुखारी कशी चलका हाजे बद्दल आमकां हितवचन दिता आसाची. आज आयिल्ले बद्दल हांव तांकां वैयक्तीक जावन समिती वतीन अनेक पंत हृतपूर्वक स्वागत करून म्हाका हांगेले बद्दल उलोवच्याक अनुकूल करून दिल्ले समितीक हांव कृतज्ञ जावन आसा. थँक्यू.
मिटिंगांत विशय येयले तेन्ना 100 पेजा पट्टी 3 पेजांत बरोवची कामां आमगेल्या गांवांत मंजुनाथ प्रभुमान मात्र करचा जाता म्हण विशय आमकां कळणुची आमी तांगेल्या विनंती दवरले. तांणी मनवी स्वीकार करून हें एक संक्षिप्त परिचय करून दिल्ल्याक धन्यवाद. सात्विक अनुभविक उत्साही प्रभावी उदारी परोपकारी निरपेक्ष सेवक श्री रघु पिकळे मामांक तुम्ही समाजाचे सर्व बांधवांक तुमगेले अनुभवाचे बोधामृत दिवका म्हूण सांगून तुमगेले विनंती करता आसाची. समाज बांधवांना सर्वांची लक्ष दिवन ऐकून तुमगेले कर्ण संपुटांतू हो विषय शेखरण करका म्हूण सांगून तुमगेले विनंती.
मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगु लंघयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वंदे परमानंदं माधवम्. यत्र योगीश्वर कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धर तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम. या देवी सर्वमात्रे संसिता नमस्तस्यै नमस्तस्यै. त्या नागयक्षक नमस्कार करणं, ह्या धर्मदर्शी प्रभूंक नमस्कार करणं. हांव दोन उतर उलयतां. Though I studied in Kannada, though I can speak very well in Marathi, I would like to speak in English only for this reason that I will be able to express better. I do not know whether how far you will be able to understand. Kindly forgive me. The Saraswat Samaj Bhatkal, the pillars are here sitting without taking much of their time. My salutations to all of them, because I know the Samaj is to be led by the pillars like this. One of the example is this beautiful, spacious hall which is built by the intuition given by Sri Nagayakshe to Ramdas Prabhu. This is a great asset to not only to Samaj but also to the Bhatkal. There is no such hall built by a social institution, a religious institution anywhere. Friends, I don't know how much time is given to me. How much time you are prepared to listen to me? 15 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour? Let me try to finish as early as possible. I had taken up the subject, what is the accountant's view of life? What is the balance sheet of a person's life? Being a chartered accountant, in my practice, I have faced many businessmen facing the disputes, family disputes. What is the dispute resolution mechanism in the Samaj? What is dana? And if time permits, and if some of you are interested, I must deal my subject, that is taxation and the professional opportunities to the young students. Before I start, I must congratulate Apurva Gaitonde and Ajit Prabhu for securing the topmost position from this place. I must admire and appreciate Apurva Gaitonde for accepting the law as a course of study, and that too she has taken BCom. She did her BCom and went for law. Excellent. She has a bright future in her future. In future, see, there are 58 income tax appellate tribunals in the country. Out of the 10 are in Bombay, 4 are in Bangalore. In the appellate tribunal, there are 2 members, accountant member and judicial member. Accountant member, these are the judges of the district court, district judge rank, and thereafter if they are promoted, they go to high court. There are a few instances. The president of the tribunal, Mr. Ishwar, now he is the chairman of the commission appointed by Modi ji. He became the Allahabad High Court judge on taxation. The prerequisite for this to be a member is 10 years you have to practice as a chartered accountant to be an accountant member, or 10 years practice as a lawyer in taxation side in the district court or the high court. Then you can become the tribunal member. Apurva has a great opportunity. The reason is there are very few ladies members on the bench. There are very few. She will be selected immediately after completion of her 10 years practice, she is interested in practice, she should continue the practice. That's my advice. And mostly she should take the taxation law. She has taken BCom. That's why the taxation as her subject she's practicing in the High Court. She should take the taxation as a subject, arguing in the High Court. The reason is, even in the High Court level, the taxation bench, not all the judges of the High Court sit on the taxation bench unless they have a taxation background. So there are pending cases of taxation in this High Court as well as Supreme Court are many, because there are very few taxation benches, and the taxation cases go only to the taxation bench and not to other benches, because other judges are not prepared to sit on the taxation bench. So since she has taken as taxation, she has a great opportunity to become the High Court judge and the judge of the Supreme Court. Maybe she will become Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. I had one girl working with me for CA. She could not pass the intermediate. I immediately advised her with a good personality. See, the most important for the lawyer, they should also have the personality besides the qualification and the experience and the knowledge. So she was also tall. I advised her, you should take up the law as your subject and go for and she immediately picked it up, and she is doing the law. The most important is, if you see the students or most of the lawyers, unlike those who have selected from the childhood, as she has said that she picked up from the childhood, we see normally those who have scored 90% in SSC, 90 and above, they try to get the admission in IIT, all NITs. From 80 to 90, they would like to be either doctors or engineers. And 60 to 80%, they would like to be either chartered accountants, or they would like to be MBAs or any other subjects, biotechnology and all that they would like to pick up. And the lawyers are ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಲ್ಲದವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಲ್ಲುವರಯ್ಯ ಬಸವಣ್ಣನ ಮಳ್ಯಾಕ ತशी lawyers खंयी जमनाशिल्ले they become lawyers, and that is the quality of the lawyers going down. Under that circumstance here, there are lawyers who are picking up from the beginning. And mind you friends, our parliament, 543 members, 75% are lawyers. I should not comment on the parliament. It's a august house, but you have seen the proceedings in the parliament. For one of them reason is those who have not are 40% to 60% of those who have become lawyers, and they are there in the parliament. Friends, one more thing I would like to advise the girl students who are present here. There is one lady who is in USA, the CEO of Pepsi from Karnataka. Her name is Indira Nui. She is the CEO of Pepsi. She is born in Gurupur in Karnataka, studied in MSc Statistics from Madras University in Madras, became MBA from IIM Calcutta, and joined Pepsi 45 years back. Sorry, 25 years back. Now she is some 54, 55. That lady's, what must be a salary? $9 billion, 60 crores of rupees. That lady has got 2 Boeing planes at her disposal. She is little shorter than me. She must be 5'3". She has got a 4 pilot who are white pilots, are 6 feet tall. This lady controls 500 and odd locations of Pepsi company. How could you achieve this? How could you do this? Her previous CEO, when she joined Pepsi company, her father had a hotel in Madras. Her previous CEO, this Pepsi company has got motels all over the world. Motels are known as, highway hotels are known as motels. And all those motels were doing in losses. The CEO said, Indira, you put these motels into profit, and before I retire, I'll make you CEO of Pepsi company. Pepsi company, you know, its turnover is more than $500 billion. It is. I will make you CEO of that, and mind you, the whole board of Pepsi company is white board. None of them are there from either India or any other African countries or from American blacks. In that situation, she became the CEO. You can imagine how intelligent, hardworking, and dedicated she should be. This is an encouragement. I always tell the girl students who join mind you, out of that, they gave me this statistics that 84 chartered accountants passed out of my office. More than 50% are girls, including my daughter and my daughter-in-law, my niece. So the chartered accountancy is one course which is most beneficial to the girl students. The many mothers are sitting here. They must think of that, because you can, for ladies, now for example, Apurva now, to balance the family life and to balance the professional life is extremely difficult. When Indira Nui was asked, how often you do meet your daughter? He said, maybe once in a month. This is the reason. She has a daughter, so she said maybe once in a month. So when daughter was asked, when do you meet your mother? I have to take an appointment, she said. So to balance the family life between the profession or the employment and the family, it is extremely difficult. But for that, there need to be an adjustment from the husband, from the parents-in-law, from all of them. So, however, the ladies have to take up this profession. Take up either of the subject, any subject that you like, as Apurva put it, take up that subject and dedicate yourself so that you will be able to succeed in your life. Now, I would like to, please tell me, I want you to tell me as soon as it's boring, please tell me, I will like to stop. I would like to give you, because all of our Kuldevata is in Goa, I would like to give you the brief history of Goa. Since I am there for last 47 years, there is something which is not written, I am going to tell you today. Goa was ruled by Portuguese for 450 years. British ruled India 150 years. British were far superior rulers than the Portuguese. The Portuguese rule started from 1510. Adil Shah of Bahmani kingdom was defeated by the Vasco da Gama and occupied Goa, and till 19th of December 1961. Why I am telling you, in 1961 the Indian army liberated Goa. For this liberation, there is one Saraswat who was responsible. Many others are responsible, of course, but one who was mostly responsible was Dr. A.V. Badiga. Dr. A.V. Badiga was from Brahmawar, was the president of Canara College. Dr. Badiga, Dr. B.P. Devgi, S.V. Pikle, and Venkatesh Shanbag, the fourth president. I am holding that position. I do not know whether I will be able to match to that great man. I will tell you one incident. He was B.K. Krishna Menon was the defense minister. All you know, in 1962, January, the China war was lost and he was the defense minister. In 19th December 1961, Goa was liberated and Dr. A.V. Baliga, who was a friend of B.K. Krishna Menon and many others, many, including Jinnah, he was a very good friend of Jinnah. About Dr. A.V. Baliga, I'll tell you first few things. This was told to me in 1974 because I was protocoling T.A. Pai, Tonse Anand Pai, he was a railway minister then. He had come to as the chief guest of Canara College Golden Jubilee celebration. He was also to inaugurate Kamalabai Pikle High School building. So I was protocoling in the car. He was telling this. Dr. A.U. Baliga was practicing as a surgeon. He was FRCS. He went for FRCS exam in 1930 to London. And when he appeared for the exam, he saw on the question paper that was nothing interesting to him. He walked out of the hall within half an hour. The examiner, who was a Britisher, called him and asked him, "Doctor, what happened? Did you not come prepared?" Then the answer from Dr. A.U. Baliga was, "Sir, the question asked was nice, my subject. If you want me to examine, if you want to examine me, I will write on the questions, then you examine." The examiner, see the foreigners how they are. If it was in India, they would have said, "Better go out, you have not come prepared." That examiner said, "Well, you ask your question, you answer that question, I will examine your question and then award you the marks." And Dr. A.U. Baliga was expert on surgery and he wrote a question when then the world was not aware of. He wrote a question and he answered that question and he got the FRCS. He was practicing in Bombay from 1930 to 1964 he died. How big Dr. A.U. Baliga was, I will give you two instances. When Dr. A.U. Baliga died in 1964, none other than J.R.D. Tata, none other than Ghanshyam Das Birla attended his funeral. He was a friend of Jawaharlal Nehru. 1961, 18th December 1961, B.K. Krishna Menon was the defense minister, P.S. Menon was the foreign secretary, Government of India, and General Kandeth, also another Menon, was in charge of Western Command. From occupying the Goa, which is 150 square kilometers, the action was taken from Navy from the Vasco da Gama port, Air Force from Belgaum, Sambra airport was taken, and the military was marching from Karwar and Patra Devi from Maharashtra side. Indian army went up to the Bori bridge and Bori bridge was dynamited and they could not cross. 18th night they could not cross over and occupy. The capital of Goa was Panji. By Air Force, they had occupied the governor's palace. There was a helipad there. On the helipad, they landed and occupied the governor's palace, but they could not host the flag Indian flag on the secretariat. Secretariat was then, it was Adil Shah Palace. It is on the bank Mandavi River. Because from that side also there was no bridge. The Indian army from Patra Devi could not cross Mandavi River and flag hosting could not be done. John F. Kennedy was the President of America, and the Pope spoke to John F. Kennedy, and John F. Kennedy was a friend of Jawaharlal Nehru. He spoke to Jawaharlal Nehru, "What is this tiny land in the whole continent you are trying to occupy?" Jawaharlal Nehru called B.K. Krishna Menon, and B.K. Krishna Menon lied to Jawaharlal Nehru, sir, we have already occupied Goa. In fact, Indian flag was not hoisted. Immediately, to pacify all the European, that time General Nasser was ruling Egypt. And General Nasser was the friend of India. Suez Canal was blocked so that no European ships could come to India. Suez Canal was blocked on 17th and 18th and 19th. 3 days Suez Canal was blocked by Egypt, and the action was going on here. So that the European community, who are basically Catholics, should not react. The P.S. Menon, the Foreign Secretary, called a meeting of all the ambassadors of European Union, European countries and America, and he showed the one-page Indian map, and he asked them, sir, can you show me where the Goa is? None could show. He said, it is a pen dot. It is in this big continent, it is only a pen dot. If it is a pen dot, why such a big cry? Dr. V.K. Krishna Menon, next day, Indian flag was hoisted, the Bailey Bridge was built overnight by the Indian Army, and the Indian Army crossed over, and the next day Indian flag was hoisted on 19th of December 1961. And Goa became the Union Territory of India. And for this, V.K. Krishna Menon paid a price. Jawaharlal Nehru came to know later on that V.K. Krishna Menon had lied to him. Goa was not occupied on 18th but 19th. 1962, the Chinese invaded India and India lost very badly. Again, V.K. Krishna Menon was the defense minister, and V.K. Krishna Menon was asked to resign. V.K. Krishna Menon refused to resign, and V.K. Krishna Menon is the person, a great orator. 3 continuous days he has spoken in UNO and saved Kashmir. His lectures are worth reading. His lectures to United Nations Organization in 1950 is worth reading. So V.K. Krishna Menon refused to resign. Jawaharlal Nehru telephoned to Dr. A.V. Baliga. Dr. A.V. Baliga was in the surgery. If Prime Minister telephones to you, what will happen? You will run to the telephone to pick up the telephone. He told his secretary, tell Pandit ji, I am in operation theatre, I will speak to him later. This was Dr. A.V. Baliga. Please tell Pandit ji that I am in operation theatre, I will speak to you later. And he spoke to Pandit ji later, and he went to Dr. V.K. Krishna Menon. And reason was, V.K. Krishna Menon was elected from Bombay, South Bombay, and Dr. Baliga had worked for his election. So he went to Dr. V.K. Krishna Menon and requested V.K. Krishna Menon, please, you must resign to save the face of the country. And he resigned. This is about Dr. A.V. Baliga and Goa. Thank you. And I have to tell you about that great man, P.S. Menon also. To pass an IAS is extremely difficult. To pass an IFS, in civil service, IFS is the topmost. P.S. Menon was an IFS. His son, K.P. Menon, was an IAS. And recently retired, 2-3 years back retired, KPS Menon. P.S. Menon's grandson was also an IFS. It is the rarest case. And all the 3 of them became foreign secretaries, mind you. Friends, what is the balance sheet of life? Friends, it is every one of us, including a housewife, has to tally her balance sheet. what are your expenses and what are your income. And more so in a particularly the situation where you are facing the demonetization of the 1,000 rupees and 500 rupee notes. What is the balance sheet of a person in life? Everyone, it is said, the first 25 years is learning, next 25 years is earning, and the next 25 years is returning. Friends, first 25 years is learning. We have beautiful two examples to whom we have honored just now, that you dedicatedly work and learn. Ajit Prabhu said that you can cricket also, you can learn. Yes, these days cricketers are also multimillionaires, crorepati's. You can do that, but do it dedicatedly, honestly, and with a creative mind. Creative mind. I will do something differently. I would create. Albert Einstein, who invented theory of relativity, was one of the dullard boy. When his uncle gave him a compass, he went on moving the compass for half an hour. But his brain, Albert Einstein was a Jew from Germany. He went on spinning the compass for half an hour to find out why it spins. And he became the great scientist and Nobel laureate. He said, knowledge is not important, but the creativity is the most important. So friends, knowledge, of course, you can borrow. Now the easiest way to borrow the knowledge is get it from Google. But with that knowledge, you create something different. You create something new. That is important. So, first 25 years, you must dedicatedly, honestly try to learn. Learn any field that matters, any field that you choose, but do it. It is said, you take it as a chala. Chalam vittam, chale jivita yavane. See, I did that. I said, I will pass CA. What may come, I pass.